everybody. This is a pretty involved lesson on the video you're about to watch. You should be watching this short video before you watch the longer 40-minute video. There's just a couple of things that I wanted to point out that could be troublesome to you. First of all, I'll put a link to the manual page on terrain that you can use from the Unity 3D manual to kind of help you do the work you're doing. And so that'll be a backup. And also, you'll listen to my narration while you're watching the video, and I try pretty good to kind of keep up in terms of narration with what I'm doing. But also, stop, pause, rewind the video, watch segments again if you're not sure how I did something, if you get confused. Also, if you're having trouble, you can email me and I'll get back to you, because this is going to be your first leap into Unity, and the video will help you through everything. But realize that I'm there to help with emails, but really, if you use the manual and you make sure to pause and rewind and watch things over when they're confusing, you should be able to figure most stuff out. But there's a couple things I wanted to point out. So I'm just going to go ahead and open Unity up and point out a couple of the things that I wanted you to remember. I'm just creating a new file here, new, and I'm just going to call it one more thing. Make sure it's 3D, same as you're going to do here, create project. So one of the things that I want you to do early on is just make sure that you save your scene. And so saving your scene is just going to work like you're just going to go up here to File and Save Scene. Do this right away. Save scene, and just like I'd say this in the main video, but not until the end. So I want you to know this early on, so that you don't take a risk of losing any work. I'm just going to save scene and call it main, and you'll click save. And one thing I've noticed that's kind of new in this version of Unity, and I didn't really point out to you well enough, is at the beginning you're going to create a game object, and you're going to create a 3D object, and you're going to create terrain. When you do, see the terrain, well, see here it's not having the same effect. When I made it on one of the other versions of Unity, it started off and it was kind of darkened and you couldn't see it very well. That's because this light was clicked off. And some of the versions, if the light's clicked off, it'll make the terrain dark. So if you can click on here, I think it's a little easier when it's even lighter like that, like white. So this is a light that'll change the visibility on your terrain. And also just remember, this is your 2D. And you won't be able to see your terrain if 2D is kind of highlighted like that. So make sure that it's not highlighted and you're seeing everything in a three-dimensional setting. Over here is your hierarchy. So this will say the things that you've added into your video already. And then you're going to do a lot of work over here in the inspector. When you have terrain highlighted right here, you're going to get these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buttons. But we're going to work mainly with the first button, which looks like a mountain with an arrow pointing up, and that's this tool. It's called the Raise or Lower Terrain tool. And then the other one is going to be the Paint Texture. You're going to work with those two mainly, but we're also going to work with the Place Trees button. So that's all important stuff, but the big thing I wanted to show you was how to save stuff. So before you start working, you already know how to save your work. And once you've saved your project, at the end I'll show you how to turn it in of the video, but one more time just to show you how to turn it in. File, you've already saved scene. So my projects in Unity I save in a folder called in my documents called Unity. And so inside of Unity, let's see if I've got one more thing, the folder one more thing in here. New Unity project, space shooter, terrain, new terrain. Where's one more thing at? One more thing. Oh, it's actually on my desktop. So here it is. One more thing. So I created this folder called One More Thing to save my stuff in. And when you should do the same thing when you title it, and probably save it on your desktop. That'll be the easiest thing. Inside of that folder, One More Thing, there's going to be 4 folders: assets, library, project settings, and temp. So when you save your file, it'll create this folder, and it'll create 4 folders inside of it. And this assets folder is important. Once you've saved your scene, you're going to have this one that looks like a cube here, like the Unity logo, that's called main, as long as you title that scene main the way that I did. That's very important to have all of that, because what you're going to turn in is actually this folder, which you'll right click on. Well, it depends if you're on a PC. It might be different, but I don't think so. You just right click on it and you're just going to compress it and make a zip file and upload that zip file to me. That's the easiest way to turn your stuff in. And I want you to do that inside of Blackboard, and it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to email it to me also. But that's how you're going to turn your work in. Everything else is outlined for you in the longer video that's attached here also. But I just wanted to go through those very important things. Make sure to do the save scene and have that in your assets, and then make sure when you turn things into me that you've got the 4 folders: assets, library, project settings, and temp inside of the main folder that you saved your work as, and zip that together and upload that to me via Blackboard. If you have any more questions, make sure to email me with plenty of time before the assignment's due so that I can get back to you and answer any questions. And good luck with your first assignment here in Unity, and I hope you enjoy the larger video that you're about to watch here.